the School of Communications had 4 majors. They had a major radio, television, film, journalism, speech, and advertising. And so the major that I chose was advertising. I wasn't quite sure whether that would lead to going into sales or whether it might lead to going into an advertising agency. But I did have an interest in that. Again, I had a family member in the business and I thought that might be an avenue for me for my career. So I ended up getting a degree in advertising from the University of Texas. Now, in the curriculum that they had in that school, they never had a class in sales. So it was all about marketing, about how advertising agencies work. I took a lot of marketing classes, but there was a project in one of my advertising classes where we had a project where we were assigned to go sell, it was like the school newspaper Christmas coupon gift guide. And it was like almost like a sales contest for everyone in the classroom. And so I went out actually into the community and knocked on doors to retailers, and I sold several coupons in this gift guide. And I think I actually won the contest. So right then and there, I kind of said to myself, maybe I can sell, you know, maybe I could be successful at this. And then I also got an internship at the college newspaper in the sales department. So I did an internship there, got to kind of shadowed some of the salespeople, did a lot of some of their service work for them. That gave me also some good experience and kind of an understanding of what sales was all about. Once I graduated, I decided that I wanted to move to Dallas, Texas, so I just kind of loaded up my car and moved to Dallas. Started making phone calls to all the radio and TV stations into the sales departments. I've kind of decided I wanted to go into sales. And I called the ABC television station in Dallas, the sales manager, and he told me, well, I don't really have an opportunity for you in our sales department, but I do have an opportunity for you in a department of our station called the traffic department. Is everyone here familiar with what the traffic department is in a radio television station? Okay. So that's how I got started. I got a job in the traffic department, and I was helping to get the commercials for the national sales, the local sales. I was entering orders, advertising orders into the computers. The traffic department is sort of an assistant of the sales department, also of the programming and production department. So I stayed a couple of years at the radio station, and then I got a job offer to go to work in the television syndication business. The television syndication business is where people sell television shows to television stations. So I got on with a company called Viacom, and that's where how I ended up relocating to Chicago. And the portfolio of television shows that Viacom had were shows like I Love Lucy, the Beverly Hillbillies, the Andy Griffith Show. Some of you may have seen those shows, but they were on the air well before you were born. These were shows that were on the air in the 60s on the CBS television network. But basically it's selling reruns of television shows to TV stations, and sometimes often first-run programming. So, for example, I think some shows that are still on the air like Wheel of Fortune, Jeopardy, those shows are sold by television syndication companies, and so that's what I did up here in Chicago. And so that's kind of in our business has always been sort of the bread and butter of generating revenue is selling on-air advertising. But nowadays, digital advertising is a very fast-growing part of our business, and so we have a web portal called Univision.com. Our revenues are growing very quickly on that, and so the people in our sales department are, they have goals to sell just regular on-air advertising, but also digital advertising. In addition to that, event marketing. I think Bill also mentioned that we have a pretty busy event calendar. We do a lot of community events, consumer trade shows and also big musical festivals. And we go to advertisers and we sell them marketing spaces at the community events so they can interact with the listeners and consumers. Well, you know, the biggest upside, I think, to being in sales and broadcasting is sort of the opportunity to make money. But there's also a lot of fulfillment in the job itself, because what you're doing basically is, you know, depending on who you're working with, is you're helping businesses grow. And, you know, that's really to the core what, you know, your job is to go to a business owner, do a customer needs analysis, ask him what his growth goals are, and then come up with solutions with the products we have to help him grow his business. We have someone who's just dedicated only to doing, for example, social media, our social media pages, because all of the radio stations have a Facebook page, a Twitter account, and so we have someone who just works exclusively on that. Another really big thing now is selling audio streaming. So it's not selling commercials that go over what we call the terrestrial airwaves, but it's selling commercials that people are either listening to our radio station on their desktop computer, or they're listening to our radio station on our app for phones. So we have an app on the iPhone called Euphoria, and they're actually set to release the Euphoria app on Android phones next week. But you can go on to our radio app and listen to any one of our radio stations around the country for our company. In addition to that, we've created radio stations that are designed just for the app only. So you don't even, these are stations that are not even heard on a regular terrestrial signal. And that's always in the process. We're reforming our internship opportunities with our company as we speak, but we definitely have internships available in the area of sales. I think many times people think that internships might only be available on the programming or production side, but they're also available on the sales side as well, and it gives you a really good chance, if you were to decide to try something like that, to get a chance to see what's going on in sales and see if it's something you might like to do, and we'll give you some experience and ask you to sort of help some of our salespeople, and we might decide that you would be really, really good at, you know, helping our station to make more money, and, you know, might want to make you a job offer. So. Well, it seemed like the students were very attentive. They seemed very interested in the subject matter. Many of them were interested in the sales area of our business. We had many people asking questions. I thought it was a very good question and answer exchange, and people seemed genuinely interested and enthusiastic, and so that's really good to see that there's a school that people can go into where they can learn more about our business.